everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Wellness Wednesdays with Stephanie podcast. My name is Stephanie Bucklin. I am so excited to be here. So delighted to be interviewing Rachel Vasquez today. She's a grief counselor. So we're going to get a little deep in this conversation. I am so delighted to have you here today, Rachel.
Hi, thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited to be here and always speaking on things that are passion led and that light me up.
Wonderful. So I'd love for you to give our audience an introduction, who you are, what you're doing in the world, what kind of magic you're bringing to the world. I'd love to hear that.
Thank you so much. Who I work with mainly is widows and people that are widowed, lost their spouse or partner. So not necessarily in today's world, it's not always traditional to be married to your partner. So I incorporate and encompass and welcome all of those who are in that grieving space, feeling that bereavement and that loss. So, with that being said, I am a widow empowerment coach, and I am a neurohypno coach as well. So, what that means is I bring in my hypnotherapy into my coaching to make a deeper, long lasting result. And we create and work together on creating a new identity because when you are no longer with your partner, you're left trying to kind of rediscover who you are. So I do that. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a quantum frequency geek. I'm an advocate for all things frequency and vibrational healing, along with a whole other slew of modalities that I do. And I put those all into the mix of a secret sauce that I work with my clients with and just really help them achieve whatever it is that their goals are. I'm there to support them.
That's so beautiful and so needed in this world. This is great. So why did you choose grief counseling? What was it about that resonated with you?
I personally have had kind of an unusual walk of life where grief and death has been all around me, and it started at a young age where I had a best friend pass away from leukemia, another one with an asthma attack, and it just kept going, kind of to a very scary rate of things. I started to feel like PTSD. I was closed off. I didn't want to be close to people because I was afraid that they were going to die. Um, and I met the love of my life and my ride or die, my best friend. We were together for 23 years, and he was killed in a motorcycle accident by a young driver. And and that really just rocked my world. I um, I went through so many things, and I just felt that I was reduced to this like puddle of goo on the floor. And on the outside, I told people I was fine and everything was great, but on the inside, I was such a mess, and I was living a life of just torment and torture, and I didn't know what to do. And through some evolution of spiritual guidance and saying yes to my heart and what was being fed to me and my energetic longing and desires, I eventually graduated to being who I am today. With that, I just want to support others in this painful process of reconnecting to self, reconnecting to their life, their purpose, what lights them up and their desires, so that they can lead what their next chapter is in this life while still honoring their loved one who has passed over to the non-physical world.
That's beautiful. This is a similar journey. I actually was surrounded by some death as a child. My first dead person I encountered, I was 5 years old. It was my grandmother, my dad's mom. And it was the first time I ever saw my dad cry, which was pretty surreal for me as a 5 year old. But then I remembered her in the hospital and how angry and like she died of complications from Alzheimer's. I remember how angry she was. and just nasty, grr. And then when I saw her in the casket, because it was an open casket, I was like, wow, she looks so peaceful. This is a 5-year-old, and I'm like really seeing the difference in what life looked like and what death looks like. And I was like, well, maybe death isn't so scary, as a
Right.
5-year-old.
Yeah.
And, as a kid, we had a ghost in the house. My mom said it's a friendly ghost. They just make noise. It's fine. They're not going to hurt anybody. I had an encounter with a ghost when I was about 5. So like I've actually had psychic experiences most of my life, and mostly relating to ghosts. So being in grief and the concept of somebody dying, having a psychic medium in your back pocket who can communicate with them is a good thing, and it's something that I just never acknowledged. I told people in private that I was psychic, but I was so afraid of coming out of the spiritual closet, as it were. It was like I'm gonna get persecuted. They're gonna, I didn't know. But I think that this is a common thread with healers, that we actually have past lives where we were persecuted. And so in this lifetime, when things are becoming a lot more open and real, people are recognizing frequency and vibration, and they're seeing things like they're understanding energy healing and they're understanding hypnosis a lot more than they were even 10 years ago. So it's a beautiful time for us to be here and doing what we do. And thank you. Thank you for doing what you do, because I know that grief is, of all of our suffering as humans, grief is
Mm.
probably one of the most powerful and painful, or at least it can be. Um, so I'd love to talk a little bit about your Reiki journey and how that has fed into your business.
Oh, Reiki. I love it so much. And it was I call it was my gateway energy healing because one of the things that happened to me is I was about a year into my husband's passing when COVID hit. And I was sitting on the couch and I just felt miserable. I didn't know what to do. And a lot of people have certain ideals of what energy healing is, what working in that space is, frequency, vibration, hypno- hypnosis, like, oh, you're going to be clucking on a stage in some Las Vegas show. Like, all these misconceptions, all of these misunderstandings that have either been indoctrinated through certain religious practices, or even just through old superstitions. And in my household, that was definitely the case. And so I was sitting there and I was praying and praying and praying, just like something has to change. I have to show up for my kids. I have to show up for myself. I have to be here to, go to work and figure things out. And my children are relying on me to guide them and love them and take care of them. And at that point in my life, I was failing at that job. And I connected with a friend of mine who is so amazing. I didn't know her at the time, but her name is Sarah Wong, and she is just this, I call her like my little magical guru. And she lives in Long Beach, California. And we connected and we talked. And I told her, I said, I am wide open to any healing experience that I can get, because something has got to shift. And as I was praying and following like what my heart was saying, was to reach out to her. So that's what I did. Um, she just worked her like angel healing, Reiki magic on me. And I felt tingling over my whole body and soul. And I was cold and I was warm and I was exhilarated. And at that moment, I shifted. And I couldn't even explain it. I thought, am I just tricking myself? Like, was this real? And I said, I need more. I need to know how to do this. So I became attuned to Reiki level 1. And then I stayed at that level for quite a while. I just was doing a lot of self healing, feeling the energy work, going through, that attunement and a small awakening at that point. Things started to become very focused for me. And then I connected with my other. I have a few Reiki masters because I believe that it's always great to learn different things from different masters who have had different experiences. So Janelle Shun with Fourth Chakra Wellness in also in Long Beach, she and I really connected, and she taught me so much that eventually, after being attuned to Reiki level 2, I flew down to Long Beach. And I had the in person attunements, and I became a Reiki master. So at this point, I had been really working and studying in the Reiki field for a couple of years, 3 years. And it just is so magical. And it was my awakening into all things that were possible that I never knew. And from there, my
Mhm.
whole life opened up in such an incredible way and a powerful way, and a connection to source and connection to life that just really, just kind of runs from from the heavens and the dimensions above all the way through the core of the earth. And it just feels so good.
It's beautiful. And I love that you have a community. That is so important as a practitioner myself. I know that I have actually been looking for that and got my Reiki certification, first like level 1 attunement in 2015. And at the time, she asked us to do a 21-day chakra cleanse as our first like self-healing journey. I had no idea what that meant, but I knew what a chakra cleanse was, but I didn't know like how to do it in 21 days. And so I actually structured one for myself, and then ended up I had this idea. I'm like, you know what? This is actually something that I think a lot of Reiki practitioners would really appreciate if we had some kind of structure around how to do a 21-day chakra cleanse. And so I'm working on an ebook or a workbook. I'm not sure if it's going to be in print or like electronic. And I have card designs for guiding people through a 21-day cleanse. I'm so excited about this product because I think that it's really going to make a difference in the
Yes.
world of Reiki, but also any healer could really do a chakra cleanse. You don't have to be a Reiki practitioner to do a chakra cleanse. So I'm seriously so stoked about this. It is a work in progress. So I'm hoping to get it released by the end of the year.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love it. It is needed because when I was starting out, I had so many questions, and because I guess like the analytical part of my brain was trying to understand, and it's like there's neuroscience that backs up and that says yes, and it is Reiki is a recognized integrative health modality through for cancer patients and after surgery, post op and things like that, and people bring that into their veterinarian practices. So this is a recognized healing practice, and a support practice that's non-invasive, and it's non-pharmacological, and it is amazing. But when you want to dive in, you want to immerse yourself, and you're finding like, I don't even know where to begin with that. So that is so needed. I'm so glad you're doing that.
I'm excited about it. I will definitely let our community know too once it's published and they're out there and available. But I think it's just going to be something that is really, really important in my own journey, as well as the journey of like hopefully several million Reiki practitioners out there.
Right. Right. And there's
Yeah.
students that are being born every day. We're so needed out
Exactly.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Reiki itself, the energy of that being in that vibration and allowing that love to come through you, it really makes such a difference in who you can be in the world. There's so much power in it.
Yes.
So you also ended up going through integrative nutrition, right? To get a
Mhm.
coaching degree. How does that feed into your counseling now, since you're
Well, there's
kind of guided on
well,
coaching, right?
I did only because what happened, and it's When I was going through the loss of my husband, I ate my feelings a lot. And we were in COVID, and I don't like to cook. My husband was the cook, he was the gourmet chef. I'm more like, let's throw a pizza in the oven, or, frozen food into the oven. That's my jam right there. And so the weight came on and came on and came on to a tune of like 100 and plus pounds, let's just say. And my it was painful to sleep at night. I was snoring. My knees hurt. I live in a townhouse, so to go up and down these levels of stairs, it was excruciatingly painful. There was at one point I had hurt my knee, and I literally had to stay upstairs for 2 weeks because the weight that I would have to bear down to go up and down the stairs was just too much. And part of that healing journey was really like, what am I doing, and why? What benefit am I giving myself? I don't want to be this weight. It's unhealthy. My children need me to live and be here for them. And so I started to really do some research, and I connected with a friend of mine who was a part of a coach and part of a weight loss program. And I went on that, and now I'm down 60 pounds. So I keep working on that. But the other health part of eating for grief, and I wrote an article through the Wellness Universe that you can find it, but it's really about how nutrition can play a role in your grieving process. That process is, you can't sleep, your body is in healing. So just like if you had a gashing wound, you need to be in top nutritional condition to feed your blood what it needs to oxygenate your to send oxygen and blood and healing cells to reconstruct. Well, it's the same thing with that grieving body. You need rest, you need tenderness, you need love, you need to nourish your body, you need to stay hydrated. In widowhood, 90% of widows experience brain fog for 2 years or more. And so, a key component to help with that is making sure that you're getting a lot of sleep and that you're really well hydrated. So, just different ways to incorporate those healthy foods for your weight, for your inflammation, because your body becomes inflamed just from head to toe. So it goes on and on. But really eating the right types of food to nurture your grief and your pains that you're having is really essential towards your healing process, and to really just make you feel better. Because if you're
Yeah,
grieving and you feel like crap on top of it from the way you're eating, it's just like worse.
that makes complete sense. I'm super passionate about nutrition. I'm a plant-based nutrition advocate, and I absolutely love food. I'm such a foodie. But I realized in my nutrition journey, I realized that there's some science pointing to mental health, about getting proper supplementation in your body, enough
Mhm.
nutrition so your brain functions properly. And I thought, God, if more people in the psychology field knew about nutrition and how powerful nutrition can be in their mental wellness, how much of a difference psychologists could make if they had dual degrees in nutrition and like really treated the people with food as well
Yep.
as therapy. I
I,
think
I
that there's a disconnect there.
Okay. Yes, I agree. Psychologists who are into the whole treating the whole patient, which there are so many really great psychologists, and they will talk to you about nurturing through nurturing yourself through the proper diet. And the thing is things like vitamin D in your diet, whether you're using supplements or getting it from your food, vitamin B6, all the B's. Those things are really critical to your brain health. And it also helps with the stimulation, with memory, with brain fog, all of those things that are critical. In fact, there have even been studies that people have been misdiagnosed with psychological conditions or mental health illnesses that were almost reversed by using the proper nutrition. And I'm in no way saying that you should not seek help if you're experiencing, depression and symptoms of like bipolar or other things, that you do need to talk those things over with your licensed doctor,
Mhm.
and talk to them about how you can also support in that healthy nutrition way.
Most definitely. I would almost recommend blending a psychologist with a nutritionist so that you can get, nutrition testing to see where you have your imbalances and see where your nutrition is not completely 100%, and start working on nutrition while you're getting therapy so that it's like your brain will function better while you're sitting in the therapy chair and
Right.
be able to have that conversation. I've noticed such a difference just adding multivitamins.
Yeah. Yep.
It's amazing. So
Yeah.
nutrition is so important, and I think it really does feed into our processes as far as healing
Yeah.
anything. We need
Absolutely.
proper nutrition to heal anything, including grief, including almost any like injury or illness. We
Hmm.
need proper nutrition as humans.
Yep.
So I think that it's really important that we have this conversation, that people understand that we're a whole person. We're not, you can't just go see one specialist and expect them to fix you. That
Right.
you're a whole person. You've got to acknowledge that you are a whole being and you've got needs in your mind, body, spirit. All the different dimensions of your reality have to be acknowledged and cared for.
Yeah.
So, oh
Exactly.
man. So how
Exactly.
does hypnotherapy feed into your practice, and where do you fit hypnotherapy?
Oh my goodness. All right. So this is my love. This is my passion. And what it is that when your brain, your beautiful, beautiful brain, is primary job is to keep you safe. So you're safe so that you can breathe. You're safe so that you can eat and fuel your body. You're safe, 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 safe. The disconnect is that your body, or your brain's idea of safety is not necessarily in alignment with reality. So you can actually be in an abusive relationship, and your brain, when people say, "Why doesn't she just leave?" It's your brain saying, "But we understand what's happening, and this is what we know." So it's really incorporating what's common knowledge for the information that your brain has at this point.
Mhm.
So as we're going along and we're trying to make better changes, dietary changes, quit smoking, um, create our new belief system so that we can unstick ourselves and find happiness and joy and moving forward
Oh,
with our
yeah.
lives. Our brain's like, you sure you want to do that? That seems a little risky. That might, as if you were going to jump off a cliff. You know what I mean? So it's really what hypnotherapy does and hypnosis does is it brings in that level of quieting the brain, and when you are just basically in complete full communication with your body, you're aligning what it is that your core values are, or whatever the things are that you want to achieve. So if you're really wanting to lose weight and stick to a weight loss program, or a new way of eating and make those shifts, the hypnotherapy really supports you while you're in the process of making those new habits. And the habits can take anywhere from 21 to 126 days, even a little longer, to actually become a core habit that you continue on. I put my seatbelt on, I do it automatically, I don't even think about it. So it's kind of that thing to have that electronic or that electrical connection in your brain be like
Mhm.
this, and disconnect the old habits of smoking, the old habits of,
Mhm.
addiction,
Mhm.
those types of things. So I bring that in because grief has a way of making you feel a low self-worth, making you feel unsafe, making you not trust yourself, making you
Mhm.
feel all these bad things because you're in such an unstable life. It's everything has completely changed for you.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
just recreating and re bringing into alignment what is going to be best for you. And maybe some of your old life, those things may not have still serve you and your highest good now. So we just start by creating your new belief system. What do you want to believe now? How do you want to show up? And that's where the hypnosis comes in to really support, solidify, and then work you through those things so that you're feeling better and better along the way, and you are achieving on your own what how you want to show up and how you want to serve in your own life. So that's why I think that hypnosis is so wonderful. And when you have a good hypnotherapist or a good hypnotist, and you are aligned with what it is that their belief system is, then you are golden.
I so totally agree. I have a hypnotherapist friend here in Arizona who she actually studied psychology and got a hypnotherapy certification on top of that, and does hypnotherapy, a little bit of cognitive behavioral therapy, and then emotional freedom technique. She
Mm,
teaches EFT and Qigong. And so, like, her practice is so completely different from yours. But honestly, like, I can see the beauty of blending these therapies and how
yes.
they all work together in tandem with each other in such a beautiful way that, like, we as humans don't know the disconnect. We don't
Right.
know, and we're not taught, we don't come with an instruction manual. We don't know that we are energy beings in addition to our physical reality. We don't know that we have layers of depth where our psychology is concerned and our emotional well-being is concerned. We don't know that, like, that there's so much to us as human beings that we can't just, have a standard American diet and never get good sleep and drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes and do drugs and do all these things and not have some kind of physical and emotional and spiritual effect on our bodies.
Right.
There's so
Yeah.
much there.
Yes, absolutely. And as we kind of start to cleanse, like if you were to do, a toxic, heavy metals cleanse, or just start eating, regular raw foods, natural foods, and or foods without dyes or chemicals in that, or stay away from the fatty foods, and just do it for a few days, and you start to realize, your body starts to go, whoa, what's kind of going on? And it almost starts to resist because it's become addicted to a lot of these components that are in, especially in American diet. But
Yeah.
when you start to realize, wow, I can think a little more clearly, I can move a little bit better, I'm not, my joints are not sore and achy, and you start to realize that these components, and really, you had said something that really just made me thinking of, when you're connecting to source, when you're connecting to universe, and you're connecting to, divine, to God, you are really allowing yourself to be in tuned with everything that you are meant to be, and being your own purpose, and finding who you are, and knowing that you are enough right now in that moment. Every single day you're showing up because you are the only person that is you. And so when you choose to support your body and your mind and your health in these positive ways, you're really serving honor to yourself, and allowing yourself to show up feeling and being the best person, and knowing that you're worthy, because so many of us get stuck thinking that we're only good enough for this minimum wage job, we're only good enough to stay in this relationship that's not really that great, or whatever it is that's holding you back from achieving like what you want and your dreams and your passions. And it's like, just knowing that if you can recenter yourself and just listen to the information, and to the energy, and to God, and just go, okay, your source, your universe, whatever your higher power is, your highest self, and bring that in and anchor that in, then you become completely unstoppable.
Awesome. As we're talking, I'm thinking anyone who works with you is just completely blessed, Rachel. You are amazing.
Oh,
Seriously. Seriously, you've got so much wisdom and so much to offer that I believe that you will have a thriving business in no time because of
Mm,
everything that you have educated yourself on and everything that you bring to the table for anyone's healing journey, to be honest. You know, if you wanted to focus on nutrition, you could do that. If you wanted to focus on just hypnotherapy, you could do that. Just, you are a rock star. Um, you mentioned frequency and vibration, and I heard that you have one of those AO scanners.
mm. Don't get me started. I love it. I love it.
Where did you find this, and how does it, do you use it in your practice, or is it just
I
like
do
a
use it
personal
in my
tool?
practice, yes, because as with frequency in the quantum field, it can go anywhere and it doesn't have to be used. I could give you a AO scan treatment and frequency from here, or if we're in person, I can also this device will also imprint frequency, so I can imprint frequency on jewelry. So your beautiful necklace there, you can imprint that with anything from like love, protection, healing, or even things like different Bach flowers or, you name it, it can do it and to help support you. As well as like a lot of times you can put it, do like even your vitamin capsules or, so it's unlimited. It's only limited by what you think it can be, is the limitation. And it has a thing that my favorite is called the inner voice. And so you record your voice for a few seconds and it analyzes and it does like a frequency balancing of, okay, these notes are high, these are low, and it plays back at a frequency for your ears, for your ears, your body, your whole alignment, to help you come back into that oneness. And it really, I use that in conjunction with Reiki because it really it's, I let them listen to the frequencies as I'm doing the Reiki, and it really just helps with the alignment, and everything just is flowing because it's vibration and it's everything vibrates. I remember taking crystals and having my children hold it, and I said, after they're attuned to Reiki as well, and but only level one. And I had them hold it, and I said, "Now just close your eyes and feel it." And they were shocked. They were like, "They're vibrating," and I'm like, "Everything has a vibrational frequency because everything is energy. Everything is alive, even the rocks, even the crystal."
Even the rocks, even
Mm,
the table that was made by humans, like there is
exactly.
a vibration
Exactly.
to everything. Oh, that's so cool. I love that you can blend it with the Reiki. Something that I have a friend with an AO scanner,
Oh, you
and
do?
I
Don't you love it?
do. She wants to become a Reiki master. I'm like, you know what? Now we have more to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, and that AO scan, it gives you like reports, and the crazy thing is with that vibrational, that energy frequency, and you know, it's like it was said before over and over again that if you want to look at the future of medicine, you have to think in terms of frequency because things are off in your body and it's going to vibrate at a different frequency. So this thing can come in and be like, oh, you got something going on over here. And I was like, no, I don't. And the next day, I had like a little abscess and it was starting to be really painful. And I also have a Healy device as well, and I just stuck a vibration, a frequency sticker on here, and I just cranked that frequency up, and within like 5 minutes, it was done. I was not in pain. It worked so much faster than the ibuprofen, which would take like an hour or 45 minutes. And yeah, if people are open to understanding and learning how it works, it's not some crazy magical spell. This is all based in
It's
science.
technology. Yeah,
Yes. This is like quantum physics. This is neuropsychology. This is quantum physics. I already said that, but um it is um it is foundational. And if you start to dig in a little bit and learn more and more and you're open to those things, you'll start to see, oh, wow, this is really incredible. We can really look for alternatives to our own healing and to our own well-being.
definitely. Oh my goodness, Rachel. This has been such a yummy conversation. I cannot wait to share it with the world. Do you have any final thoughts, inspiration, anything else you'd like to share?
Wow. I guess what I really would love for everyone to know is if you were to think and have one day left, what would you want people to know? What would you really want them to think, to feel, and anchor in on that? Think about that for a moment, and then understand that that is who you are, and that is your passion, and that is something that you can bring out. Like if I had one day left, I would tell people to surround yourself with the people that you love and do the thing that lights you up. And from there, what do you have to do to take those steps, that action to make that your reality, because that is what you're here to do and that's what you're born to do. And so you have it within yourself to honor what your gifts are and be proud of yourself, because you are worthy, you are loved, and you are safe. And that is really what I would love people to take away.
Beautiful. Thank you. 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 Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me on. I love it.